Hey guys, picking up right where we left off. We're headed back to the hideout with Jacob Rivers to pick up most of the rest of his crap after leaving Pasadena. So let's go pick up our stuff and say goodbye to our crew of lunatics and survivors and, frankly, kids too cute for this horse shit. Pasadena is far gone, but I managed to complete my first mission as TechCom soldier. Now it's time to say goodbye to my companions before I go and join Commander Barron and her South Division. Gonna move right through here. We're pretty much done. This is the end of this hub section.
Jacob, how is Pasadena? You know what? Forget I asked. I don't want to know. I'm just glad that you're all right.
And how are you doing?
I guess I'm a little nervous before tomorrow.
I never asked you. What are you planning to do tomorrow?
I've been meaning to tell you earlier, but I panicked. And that's because I decided to go with Ryan. We'll find somewhere safe, away from all this. You have to understand, I need to do what's best for Patrick. I'm his big sis. I need to protect him. I haven't told him yet. He'll be devastated leaving you and Aaron, but I think it's for the best.
Oh no, our girlfriend is leaving us. Alright, well, we found some suspicious situations at her house in Pasadena while we were looking for that chalk. So let's ask her what was going on with that.
Aren't you curious about what happened in Pasadena?
No. I think I'd rather keep that place in the past. Actually, I have a confession to make. I've never been outside of Pasadena until now. Can you believe that?
Actually, yes. Considering, the nuclear war and the dangers therein, I can believe staying close to home if you know it's safe.
That's not surprising. After all, that's where your home is.
Where it used to be. Right now I'm going to try someplace new to call home. I did my traveling through pictures and postcards that wanderers brought with them. My favorite had a little flamingo drinking water from a lake on it. Its long red neck curved like a snake. Patrick's mother gave me that postcard. It's funny how I never met my mother, but I was around to see Patrick's leave him.
Okay, so Patrick isn't her biological brother. Fair point. She's raising him like a son because she has to, because he doesn't have anybody else. And we also got an explanation of where Patrick got all his ideas for his pictures. Okay. And Jesus Christ, is this game depressing.
I thought Patrick was your brother.
In our house, we were all brothers and sisters. But me and Patrick, we've always had this special bond. Felt what the other one was feeling. We'd even get sick together. I remember the day Patrick's mom brought him in. They were both tired and dirty, so we took care of him. Patrick was crying a lot. He was teething at the time. I think that was what scared her away. She just couldn't handle the crying.
Did you blame her?
No, I didn't. For some reason, I was mad at my dad. For letting her go, I guess. After she took off, I was devastated. But my father said, "You need to grow up. You have a brother now." So I burned the postcard. The little red flamingo flew up in flames. And I promised myself I'd never be weak again. But I guess we all need someone we can be weak with sometimes, don't we?
Anybody else? Everybody else looks like they're asleep. Laura's sleeping in Mark's bed. Where the hell is Mark? That's Ryan. Mark is missing. Interesting. So is Aaron, for that matter. Maybe they're outside and I missed it.
Wake up! We need to move.
What's going on?
Everyone, wake up! You need to get out of here.
Who the fuck are you?
It doesn't matter. What matters is that you can't stay here any longer.
She asked a question, and I suggest answering.
You don't want to do that. I've got this place rigged with explosives, and there's a detonator in my pocket.
You got what?
Do you mind?
Lower your gun, Ryan. He's the one that saved my life. What do you want from us?
You have to get out of here. Skynet's on its way. They finally found you.
What you mean they found us? They were looking for us?
Not for you. For him. He's essential to winning this war. Skynet knows that. That's why they've been following him for months. I have to make sure nothing happens to him. In a couple of minutes, an infiltrator will walk in here trying to kill him. I can't let that happen. We have to bury that Terminator here once and for all.
All right, everybody, you heard them. Let's get moving. I'll get the bus ready.
There's no time for that. There's a passage here. It will lead you out. Use it.
What was that?
All right, everyone, get out!
Jacob!
Give me that.
It's the same one. It's the same model.
Leave! Now!
How the hell's he still alive?
Go! Go! Watch out! Don't just stand there! Run!
Oh, their bus planes went up in rubble. Yeah. So, this game is broken into 3 parts. 3 acts. Like any good story. Technically 4 if you count the Annihilation line. That was pretty much the end of Act 1. Things have kind of been forced on us. We are now forced to move into the bunker because nowhere else is safe. And our companions are kind of stuck with us for the time being. They've also lost access to their bus. And it looks like our friend, our mysterious stranger, who is really leaning on that gravelly voice, is taking himself out along with that infiltrator, but we'll see. We were able to escape thanks to the stranger. He sacrificed himself and buried that infiltrator once and for all. But with Patrick hurt from the explosion, others had no other option. They had to join me at the resistance shelter.
Baron listened to us. She could no longer deny that this infiltrator was a real threat. She decided to take everyone in, on her terms. The shelter was on high alert, but thanks to the intel I gathered in Pasadena, we slowed the advance of the Annihilation line and gained some time. Just enough to start preparing the counterattack.
Two-week time jump. Excuse me. So this is the point in time where those 2 weeks are the point in time where Rivers takes off with his adventure on the Annihilation Line DLC. I was gonna take a break here and go right into the Annihilation Line DLC and just let this pick this up when we finish that. But seeing as how this video is only like 10 minutes long, I'm gonna go ahead and keep playing, and we'll pick up the Annihilation Line story after the game is over. Some things have changed in the shelter since.
Sergeant, at ease.
Like the fact that Rivers got a promotion. Isn't funny he doesn't mention that.
Well, look at you, Sergeant. When you helped us in Pasadena the other day, I was trying really hard not to panic because you were only a private. Sorry for underestimating you. I guess I should salute or something?
So, I know her. She looks like she's been in a fist fight, but that's actually just a glitch with the lighting engine. It causes a lot of the characters' eyes to look bloodshot. If you saw with the stranger in the last section, he had the same problem, but with both eyes. It has something to do with them being backlit by the firelight.
How's Patrick?
Every day a little better. Aaron says he'll be back on his feet in no time. She's done a great job with him. I wish I could repay her somehow. It just doesn't seem that she needs anything.
Getting ready for another scavenging run?
No, I just came out here to catch my breath. Baron is giving us the entire evening off, believe it or not.
Doesn't sound like her. I need to report to Baron.
Yeah, that's suspicious. Something's going on. Pick up the pace here, just so we're not got too much dead air. Alright.
Rivers, DN 46890.
And I gotta spend those skill points. I love how...
Commander is expecting you in the control room, Sergeant.
Gee, thanks. I love how everyone seems to float through that door.
Maraschino cherries again. Where do they keep finding this shit?
Bars, I'm guessing.
I don't get it. How did they bring that buggy down here?
That is an excellent question. You know, also there's a car down here, and there's no apparent ramp or anything, and it sure as shit doesn't fit through that door.
I'm going out soon. I haven't made my daily quota yet. I still have 3 more rats to catch. If you see one, let me know, okay?
Hey, I'm just catching up with Mark. I'll get back to work in a couple of minutes. You won't tell, right? But no, seriously, you won't tell, right?
Well, it seems like things in the tunnels are a little on the rough side. And Baron is, of course, running this place like a military camp, so everyone has to do their part. They have a quota to meet. You get the feeling she's a little bit draconian, but I understand her concept of survival. Let's see what Ryan has to say.
Hey Ryan, how's everything?
Exactly as you would imagine. Baron's keeping me busy. They weren't kidding when they said she's a hard ass.
What did you hear?
A lot of rumors going around of how she's sending insubordinate workers to the front line. And by insubordinate, I mean people who ain't willing to work 18 hours a day. Every day.
Okay, now there's something wrong with that. Baron is one of those people who you kind of aren't supposed to like. She has her reasons, but they're not particularly good ones. And you don't support a camp of survivors by sending your scavengers to fight. If they don't have the experience, if they're not frontline troops, and you're not defending yourselves, you don't send them to the front lines. All you're going to do is get people killed. And when you're short on manpower, like they are, that's a bad idea.
What happened after you started your camp?
Honestly, not that much. At least not in the beginning. When we gave up on the idea of getting in touch with anyone, we just tried to adapt. Temperatures fell, we had to scavenge for food. All of a sudden, that became our life.
I feel like we missed a segue here, but yeah, he's talking about the pre-war or the post-Judgment Day survival with his brother.
Didn't you try to reach home?
Some people did. Most of us were scared of what we'd find if we did get home, so we conveniently said we're stranded here anyways, and stayed. Well, I know how stupid it sounds, but we managed to have fun in our little commune. I still have my guitar with me. We talked a lot about how we're gonna be famous, because we're the only living band in the world.
That's the first time he's mentioned he's been in a band. They were seeing a band during Judgment Day. Now they are a band. I don't know if this is just he forgot to include some of this information. I missed it with the binary choices here, or they just kind of threw it in there because they compiled a script.
You played in a band.
I did. One of the few things I was better at than Tucker. He didn't have much talent, but he loved the idea of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Especially the first two.
I mean, who doesn't?
We were just stupid kids, not realizing what was going on. We paid the price for it the first time we saw a tin can. I was tuning my guitar when I heard a strange noise. I found out later that it was a T-400. It must have heard me play. It didn't even have the decency to look scary. Maybe if it did, we wouldn't have just stood there when it started firing.
Okay, so my commentary seems a little premature. However, his delivery makes it seem like you've had this conversation before. So my comment stands. You got to lead into this or reshuffle your script, guys. Come on.
What did you do?
I froze. I didn't run to help. I didn't scream. I didn't even move. I just stood there, like a coward. The tin can got Tucker with a single bullet. Bam! Just like that. 7 other people died before we finally destroyed that thing. Ironically enough, I was the one who delivered the final blow. Safe to say, it was the beginning of a new era.
There is a point to us talking to these people. I have problems with his line delivery. I think that's why I don't like his character very much. And I don't think it's the voice actor's fault. I think it's more of a lack of direction. Okay, let's see. What can we... Oops, wrong button. What do we got? We got a backpack. Let's go ahead and pick that up. And I'm probably... Yeah, we're going to pick up Hacking 3. So that knocks out pretty much anything except most of the combat skills. As far as essentials. Might grab a Fast Learner level 1 at next level just because... I want to make sure that we get to level 24 before the end of the game. Let's see what Alvin's doing. Alvin is not here. Okay.
Are you alright?
Me? Honey, I'm about the most well-adjusted person in this goddamn place. It's the others you should be concerned about.
You mean Ryan?
Ryan ain't so hot either, but that's another story.
Jennifer?
I'm worried about her. I'm the one that asked Baron to give her team a little break. Jennifer's been busy scavenging supplies for the soldiers, and she hardly had time to see Patrick. And now she's finally got a day off. She's avoiding him like the plague.
How's Patrick doing?
He's fine, but it wouldn't kill you if you checked on him yourself.
Think Jennifer's feeling guilty about something?
Is there anything you need?
No. I have to say the Resistance is pretty well supplied. Don't tell me you miss running errands for me. I don't believe that for a second.
And what about something other than medicine?
Honey, I'm not shy. I'll let you know if I need anything, okay? But thank you for asking.
Take care.
Well, at least it's good that we've learned the good news that the Resistance is well supplied. I would hope so. Or as well supplied as they can be. Alright, let's see what the kid has to say. Good dog.
How are you doing?
Good. Erin's going to let me leave in a couple of days. Thanks for bringing that chalk. I've been drawing a lot. I'd be so bored without it.
How do you like living in the shelter?
There's a lot of people here. I like that. I heard a funny joke yesterday. You want to hear it?
Here we go, folks.
Yeah, tell me.
What's brown and sticky? A stick.
That's funny.
I know, right?
How's Jennifer?
She's out a lot, but I understand. She's a scavenger.
I have to go.
That was abrupt. But yeah, he has been busy. I mean, it's the same art we saw in Pasadena, but what are you going to do? Yeah, that joke was awful, but humor the kid.
Alvin lost his spider scout again.
Man, I saw it crawling through the shelter earlier. Almost gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, that's an issue. Why does Alvin have a spider scout? There's a lot of commentary about repurposing Skynet equipment, but we're not going to go there. Ooh, hello. Memorandum John Connor. Hey, that's a name we haven't heard in a little while. Commander Barron, I was very pleased to read the mission report from Pasadena. You are probably aware of this, but it is essential that we mobilize all the troops in your area and abandon all Level 3 outposts. I understand the consequences and will take full responsibility for this. As for Private Rivers, I believe he deserves recognition for his actions. Perhaps a promotion is in order. I will leave the decision to you. I want to keep him close. Signed, John Connor. Well, now we know who to thank for getting us out of the private set. Getting his promotion, anyway. I wonder why John is keeping such a close eye on us. I wonder if it's important.
You wanted to see me.
You're finally here. Good. I have a special task for you. I want you to head downtown to check on the doctor.
Doctor?
Alvin. He's out there making sure that our defense systems are working properly. Ever since we went radio silent, I had a small team of trustworthy messengers maintaining communication between our outposts. They haven't returned, so I want you to go downtown and see why that happened. Could be nothing, but Connor doesn't want any hiccups while he's up there in North Division preparing the attack on Skynet's central core.
Is there a problem with the radio?
The Annihilation Line is within spitting distance of downtown. We suspect that Skynet will be intercepting all transmissions from that location. So for now, we're going radio silent. That's why I need you to go there personally.
Central core?
Skynet's main reactor, the source of all their power. We shut down the central core, we shut down Skynet. Connor's preparing the attack as we speak. So you understand we can't have any critical complications at this stage.
Yeah, okay. So we need to go check in because things have gone wrong at the front lines. It's going to be a show, folks. But the other thing I wanted to address is the concept of the Skynet Central Core. It was clear this is a very 1980s concept. And they borrow this idea from the movie. Because Kyle Reese says, we had them on the ropes. The defense grid was smashed. We were about to make our final assault on the Central Core. That's the idea that you can't have a supercomputer without a big room full of, in this case, tape decks. Big reel-to-reel tape machines. They were trying to push the idea of futurism with, okay, what if it's not just reel-to-reel machines? What if it's, microchips? And they did. They were pretty good about that, actually. James Cameron did an excellent job kind of pushing this future computer concept. Much more in the sequel than he did in the first one, because technology advanced significantly in the 6 years. 1984 to 1992 was when T2 came out, and computer technology took a leap. The one thing I can say for T3 is they got the idea of software and AI being free to roam cyberspace. But there's some issues with detonating an EMP there's issues with an entity that lives purely in an electronic medium detonating an electronic pulse. You're going to do some damage to the internet, I can guarantee it. So they tried with T3 by saying that Skynet was just software and it can go anywhere in the internet. which makes more sense, and there is a lot in the secondary medium. So the books and the comics, they do kind of they have kind of explored that idea that Skynet can be anywhere. It can either be overseeing its troops, or it can be focused in on a single Terminator unit or hunter killer. It just depends on how it wants to split its attention. They do not really bring up the concept of Skynet being omnipotent, just because it's hard to write in that context with any coherence. And at the time, I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway, so in this retro-futurist apocalypse, we have a single target to go after. They actually, interestingly enough, they went back to the concept of a central core with Terminator Salvation, where they blow up the LA, not necessarily, they blow up the LA mainframe, which again makes sense. You need server farms to run an AI, and those are big rooms. Even now, they're big rooms. They're not whole buildings or an entire bunker in the middle of Colorado, thanks NORAD, but they are big rooms. So anyway, I've apparently wandered completely off topic. Let's see what Baron's story is.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you end up here?
Excuse me if I act a little surprised, Sergeant. But no one in here thinks it's wise to ask their superior personal questions. But since you did, I'll humor you. So, how did I get here? The same way you did. I was born, raised, and given a gun. We don't really have a say in what we do we? Or do I assume too much? Was it any different for you? Why do you fight, Sergeant?
Yeah, why do we fight? Because we don't have a choice, or it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. You gotta preserve the species.
It's the right thing to do.
There's nothing noble in what we do. Humans were fighting humans since the beginning of time. It just so happens that right now we have a common enemy. If it wasn't for the machines, we'd probably be fighting each other.
There are other ways to fight, folks. You don't actually have to pick up a gun. I mean, sometimes you don't have a choice. But you can. Scavengers are fighting just as hard as the frontline troops. They're keeping them supplied. They're keeping them fed. They're keeping them alive. In the case of Erin, she's a doctor. So yeah, that's important. Despite what Baron clearly thinks. She's a bit of a nihilist, which doesn't help her character. But she's also got the awful, tragic backstory to go with it. So let's find out what that is.
If that's how you view humanity, are we even worth fighting for?
I'm just doing whatever it takes to survive. Saving humanity is just a bonus. Besides, I'm not a fighter. When I go out there in the middle of the night with my Westinghouse, I'm not looking for a fight. I look to seek and conquer. I'm not a fighter. I'm a bully.
Oh, good. Just what you want in a commander.
Who wants to be a bully?
Believe me, there will come a time when you'll become whatever you need to be to survive. No one ever stands up to bullies. But I have to admit, it has its downsides. One of them being that no one ever asks me a personal question. At least not since Perry died. So congratulations, Rivers. Takes guts to stand up to a bully. I guess since your promotion, you got a little more cocky. Good for you.
I'm just gonna leave that one alone. We're going to check in with the quartermaster because I think... Yeah, Ryan's home is now the workshop. I'm going to check in with the quartermaster because there's some stuff I want to buy and some stuff I want to get rid of.
Do you need anything?
Can I see your hardware?
Like this. I want to get rid of that. Alright. Mostly I think we're just going to end up buying ammo at this point. And I've maxed out my backpack space. Health kits, noisemakers. Am I really out of pipe bombs? No, 9 pipe bombs. We've got some cash. Let's lose the chips. And yes, I have to do each one individually. It's also an excellent way to make some money. So we made about 3 grand right there. I'm gonna leave the blue ones just because they help average out the guns, and they give us a little more options. We will get access to purple ones, which have no circuitry, which is very, very useful. How much do these cost? Oof, those are expensive. I'm going to leave it because we do need to buy something from him eventually that will... I guess we don't actually have to buy it, but it's much more useful if we do have it. Do we still have the termination knife? I do. Alright. And then we're off to our next objective. Downtown Los Angeles. Oh boy. With the annihilation under control, we've got some time to prepare a counterattack. In the meantime, Commander Barron wants me to check in on Alvin, who's downtown doing maintenance work on our defense systems. But I'm going to call it there, because we're about 32 minutes in, and I will see you guys next time.